Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we're honoured to have a story, a very entertaining but sad but happy but funny story, which our lovely guest is going to tell us. And then we're all going to learn about how to market private jets. So anybody who's in the business of buying private jets, this is where you want to listen out and learn something. So nice to have you here today, Matteo.
Oh, nice to be here. Thank you. So what would you like to know about me? To
start off, we'll go straight into it. You told me you got injuries on your ribs, you damaged one of your ribs. Tell us that story. What happened and why?
Well, I'm here really appreciating your style of driving because you've been very careful to avoid any bumps that could really make me scream in pain on the back of your taxi, which is not something you want, I guess. So we both we're both very happy for your driving. I'm just back from holidays. I was in Italy, and the story goes that I was free climbing, and an eagle comes to me, and have a big cut on my side with its talons, 30 centimeters cut on my chest, and on falling, I actually broke a rib.
Okay, and then the real story is?
Well, the real story goes that actually I was rafting, and after rafting I decided to go at a spa just to relax because it was such an intense activity. And while I'm there playing with my son, I throw myself against a wall that was hidden under the bubbles, under the water, and I go there with all my force and I broke a rib. Much less entertaining for me, maybe more for you.
That sounds just sad. You know what it is? I go to the jacuzzi every day, more or less, because I go to my gym has a sauna, jacuzzi, swimming pool and all that. And so after I work out, I always swim to relax my muscles, and then I sit in the jacuzzi to bring my temperature down after the sauna and the jacuzzi. After the sauna and the steam room, sorry. And I bang my shins so many times on there's a seating area, but it's under the water and it's bubbles.
Absolutely, you understand what I'm talking about. It's a vicious device.
It's painful. It is painful. It's not a joke. Even if you bang your big toe.
That is exactly so. The story I'm sharing today is to say don't trust places that are meant to make you feel good. They can still hurt you, right?
So I wade in. I move very slowly, very cautious.
Exactly.
So moving on, you market private jets. How did you get into that business?
Randomly. Private jets is such a niche business. I come from luxury fashion, and they wanted somebody with the expertise to deal with millionaires and billionaires. So that's how it started. But it's actually a lot of fun.
So you said expertise. So have you, I take it, are you a billionaire? Are you a surprise billionaire?
I'm no surprise billionaire. I wish I was. I would do a big reveal right now and buy you an incredible dinner tonight. The best thing you can get is a tip of £1 extra on the bill. That's how I work.
Where did you get the experience dealing with billionaires and multi-millionaires?
I think it's not a very different business than driving a car. You just need to listen to people. You just need to try to understand what they care about, what they want, and try to give it to them. It's that simple.
Where you got the experience before you got
fashion. So it was luxury fashion. Yes.
Luxury fashion.
Yes.
Oh,
so you get used to dealing with wealthy customers who expect good service, right? Okay. And great products. So that is more or less the environment, and then from there you can go out and try to understand what they need to be convinced to switch to your private jet instead of their own.
Okay, so a whole string of questions come from that. The first one being is, how do you approach a billionaire?
You get introduced.
You always get introduced?
Yes. Okay. You hardly ever introduce yourself, etc., because they're very busy. Everyone wants something from them because they know they have the means. so they tend to be quite private, and rightly so, because there's so many people trying to get in with them.
So that makes sense where you'd need a security detail just to keep Joe Public away from you.
Absolutely. You don't want to be known by everyone when you are in that group of customers,
Bill
right?
Gates or the Jeff Bezos.
You do it if you need it for your business, but other than that, your private life tends to be much more private than what most of people try to do.
So there's no Tinder and there's no Bumble.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there is less open accounts
Okay, fair enough.
for everyone.
So what are they? Probably have their own private. What if you have a Billionaires Tinder?
There is.
There is.
Yeah, there's several.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna look for that. A Billionaires Tinder.
Of course.
Oh, really?
There's a version of everything.
You can't download that app, can you?
No.
You have to prove your wages first.
Absolutely.
Billionaires Tinder. I never heard of that. I think that's going to be the title of this thing. Private jets, Billionaires Tinder. If you don't know, you need to get to know.
There are services for everything.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's all right, you've been introduced to a billionaire.
Yes.
What's your sales pitch? How do you go about it?
Oh, I normally don't sell. I just know. I introduce myself. They ask me what I do, and the moment I say I work in private jets, they tend to try to understand whether there is a good price or a better service they can get. So if they're not interested, they won't ask you, and you don't go out with it. If they ask you, they're interested, and immediately you go and explain what is the difference your company makes compared to the other ones.
So
It's never pushing the sale. No, never push the sale.
Yeah, because they know the game.
They know the game, they used to fly in private, they know exactly what they're after, so they will know what are the questions to ask you, because that will be based on what they value, not what I value. It's going to be based on what they are not happy with their current supplier. So it's much easier to let somebody introduce and talk, because they set the conversation, and then you go in and say, okay, then maybe I can help, and I can do this and this for you.
So,
and never ever lie, because if they became billionaires, normally they're smarter than you. So there's no point. Don't fake it.
Good. That's very no faking it.
Don't fake it. If they like it, they'll buy it. It's that simple.
So don't lie, because they're a billionaire for a reason.
Most
Basically.
of them are.
Yeah,
Yes.
billionaire, unless they inherited the money,
Exactly.
and then
That is the only case where you might say, okay, not necessarily you didn't make it yourself, so you might just be lucky.
yeah.
But still, they're highly educated, still can recognize value, still have a plethora of support people around them who can suggest whether there is a real value what you're offering or not. So there's no point lying.
And they have their advisor as well, who's probably listening in.
Plenty of advisors.
Yeah. To say no.
Plenty of advisors. Ultimately, though, the client makes its own decisions.
Yeah.
They still have the power to have the final say. So, of course, the advisors will ask rightly more questions and more details to protect their client. But the final decision is with the client.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's very, very.
So, did you have private jets in your podcast yet?
No, I haven't got a private jet. I wish I had. But I was thinking about the private jet industry. Do these guys buy the planes and own it and run it themselves, or do they just buy the plane and get a company to run it?
All sorts. More often than not, you buy a plane and you get a team together to run it, or you give it away to a company who does aircraft management that runs it entirely for you. Or you're simply chartering and have jet cards. So you decide that you need a certain number of hours a year, and you negotiate a price, and then a plane comes and picks you up from somebody else's fleet.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds more sensible. You don't really want to be owning and having a burden.
No, because, I mean, consider that the price of a private jet drops by about 30 to 40% in the first 5 years.
Really?
So it's a lot of cash to leave on the ground just for the pleasure of saying I own it instead of I rent it.
What's the starting price for a private jet?
Depends on the size and depends on the age and depends on the fitting. It's more similar to a yacht kind of business. A yacht, you say it's 1 million a meter, and in private jet,
1 million a meter.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are we talking nose to thing or the wingspan?
Length.
Length.
No, that is in jet. That is in yachts.
Yeah.
But in jets, it's quite similar, but it's much more expensive.
UMP, man.
I mean, the largest jet, the largest private jets, which sits 16 people, has a private bedroom, etc. They come at around 70 millions each.
70 million.
The little ones, if you get it second hand, you can buy for $1 million, right? So it really depends.
That's big maintenance, though.
It's a lot of it.
It's lots of maintenance.
Listen, I think we have arrived.
Yeah, we have arrived. So
our time was great.
Thanks a lot for that, and we wish you well.
Thank you very much, and be careful.
We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.